Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight I want to share what's really happening behind the scenes for Bitcoin and prove to you guys there are a lot of whales out there that are buying up as much as they can. So let's discuss this and other crypto news. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and make sure you follow my brand new channels. Good evening, guys. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Things are looking pretty good tonight. Changed my background a little bit for some of you guys that's been complaining, right? Add a little bit of liveliness to it. So let's get started. So right now, Bitcoin is at 24.1. So basically the same thing as this morning. Bitcoin has not moved at all, right? But that's not a bad thing. Bitcoin's been hovering just like it was hovering in 23,000 and just like at 22,000 and 21,000, 20,000. It's okay if it takes a breather. Overall market is unsure. At least U.S. market's kind of just flat too. So a lot of hesitation still. Fear is still somewhat high. Looking at the fear and greed index right now, Bitcoin is at 44. So still in the fear level, right? That's why we're not seeing massive buying, massive FOMO going on right now. So that is why we're not seeing a lot of movement. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Just look at this clump of fear over here. I've told you guys that, whenever you have a clump of fear, we tend to come out of it, and then, things get back to normal, and then we see some green, right? Right now, we're definitely getting out of the clump of fear, heading higher, but slowly, and that's okay. That is okay. So looking at U.S. markets right now, still flat for tomorrow. People are wondering what's going to happen on Wednesday. There's Fed FOMC minute report coming out. There's other economic data that's coming out today, this week, but overall, nothing that's really like scary or unexpected. So pretty good overall. I think still it's early, but let's see what happens. A couple pieces of news. I'll get to those. I have a couple pieces of news that has nothing to do with crypto, so I'll get to that in a little bit. But as for crypto news, it seems like BitGo is not happy about Galaxy Digital, which promised to buy them for like $1 billion before, but they decided not to. BitGo is a big custodian service, one of the oldest ones out there, and they have other stuff that's going on within their company. But Galaxy Digital decided not to buy them. So now BitGo is suing them for a $100 million termination fee as promised in the contract. But it doesn't seem like Galaxy Digital wants to pay that. It doesn't seem like Mike Novogratz really wants to pay. So, things in the space are still getting a little heated. That's for sure. What else is heated are the Celsius depositors, because now it turns out that Celsius liability surpasses $2.8 billion. It was once thought that, it was just a little gap, but that little gap has turned into nearly $3 billion. Remember, there was rumors about Sam Bankman-Fried FTX wanting to buy Celsius, and then they left because they found a $2 billion hole. Well, that $2 billion hole is actually $3 billion. So it's actually quite a lot, and they are still spending hundreds of millions every month to just operate, which is still insane. So bottom line is the situation is not looking good. I don't know if it's going to be resolved. I'm warning you guys, there are some people that are still trying to play this Celsius token short squeeze, okay? Or I should say, aka manipulation. Just think about it. Why would Celsius token go up when everything coming out in bankruptcy court is turning really, really nasty, really, really bad? Do you think Celsius is really going to come out of this alive? Right? So don't let anyone fool you thinking, oh, the Celsius short squeeze, the pump, it's going to save Celsius and we're all going to be okay. No, don't let yourself get fooled. It won't. It's going to end up very, very badly, and you don't want to be participating in that. All right? So just to throw that out there. What else is there? Well, Circle, because of all the USDC FUD recently about U.S. Justice Department basically banning Tornado Cash, USDC complies, and I have several other news about other projects that's looking to comply as well. But at least they're satisfying the Treasury, the U.S. Treasury, by saying they're fully backed in cash. They used to be backed by corporate bonds or junk bonds and other treasuries, but no, they're backed in cash now. So that's good. That's good overall. What else is there? Well, as for Bitcoin, nothing really has changed. I said it's going to take some time before FOMO kicks in, but it's going to come sooner or later. This article is talking about funding rate, which is basically what the future traders, basically the fees they pay each other. And whenever funding rate is positive, that means there's more longs than shorts. And whenever it's negative, that means there's more shorts and long. And the funding rate is in the green and has been in the green for quite some time. I saw someone in the chat say, what's the point of shorting Bitcoin? That's exactly right. You don't want to short Bitcoin right now. I mean, you could be sitting on the sidelines, but shorting Bitcoin doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And the funding rate basically concurs that there are a lot more longs than shorts these days, right? We are definitely much closer to the bottom than we are to top. So keep that in mind. What else is there? Of course, there's other models. This one is the NUPL, which basically, this one is actually saying that, because of diminishing returns, because Bitcoin gets bigger with every cycle, you could see that the bottom, the lows are getting higher. The highs are also getting lower, so you're kind of getting like a squeeze, right? But one thing is for certain, we are bouncing off the bottom. We are navigating upwards, and this is measuring basically losses and profits, right? So this is basically saying, yeah, we are recovering already from bottom. So that's pretty good. Here's another one that's MVRV, which basically is kind of measuring the same thing, but you could see we're bouncing off the bottom. So that's also very positive, right? This is what we're doing right now is you can clearly see we're not having a V-shaped recovery like 2020, right? March of 2020 was very different. We had, of course, a major COVID pandemic shutdown, major fear. We had a very big drop, right? But had we not had that drop, that line could have just been like flat. But anyways, I'm looking at what happened in 2018, 2019, right? Even though this is not measuring Bitcoin's chart, it's very similar. But in 2018, 2019, when Bitcoin found that bottom, yeah, take a look at it. It's just kind of sideways, didn't move for a long time. A lot of people still thought at that time, like, oh, no way, it's going to recover. It's going to go lower. It's lower until we recover past that, right? So right now it kind of reminds you of that 2018, 2019 period where we are recovering. A lot of people still disbelief, does not believe it, think we're in a bull trap, right? But only time will tell. Only enough time have passed, then we can verify whether or not that was truly bottom. But there's a lot of models that's saying we are. All right, now, this is what I wanted to basically talk about. I mean, I think this is no surprise, but I just want to show you guys anyways. I put this on the thumbnail, what's really going on behind the scenes. This is interesting. So, dolphins, sharks, and whales, yes, all mammals, I guess. I was going to say fish, but I don't think that's right. Mammals. Or mammals that live in water. Anyways, it doesn't matter who you are. These are all going up. The number of people that's holding above 1,000 Bitcoin, you can see is going up. Number of people holding above 100 Bitcoin going up. Number of people holding over 10 Bitcoins going up. So this is what's really happening behind the scenes. You could say these are insiders. You could say these guys are just holders. You could say these are new players like BlackRock, right? And the new institutions that are coming in. It doesn't matter how you look at it. The bottom line is there are a ton of buying going on behind the scenes. A lot of this could be operating OTC, so we don't really witness it, right? But one thing's for sure, I have seen that reserve, the Bitcoin reserve, drop pretty substantially over the last 6, 7, 8 months, right? And it makes sense that a lot of it may be due to OTC sales to some of these whales, sharks, and dolphins, right? So very positive. This is what's going on behind the scenes. There are some massive, massive players that are buying, right? And if you look at the numbers, I know it's kind of cut off, but if you look at the numbers, this is just measuring one day, okay? This is not even measuring like 6 months or so, right? But if you look at the graphs, you could clearly see since our bottom, there's been massive accumulation for all three sea mammals, right? And that's obviously very positive, and hopefully you guys are following. All right. Besides that, there's just a few other things. I did notice I don't talk about Polkadot a lot, but Polkadot finally is having some traction this last week, although their stablecoin project, Alcala, had some problems. But overall, Polkadot is coming up. I think a lot of people just kind of skip over Polkadot. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of things going on, but no, there's actually a lot of things going on. If you look at their growth, take a look at this. The top chains by ROI in the last 30 days, Ethereum obviously did very well, but then you have Avalanche and Polkadot. But also, fundamental things like energy consumption is way lower than everyone else. Even Solana, which is quite interesting. Cardano, Avalanche, Tezos, Algorand, Polkadot has the lowest energy consumption by far. You look at other things, for example, like, developer counts. Polkadot is right up there at number 3, right? So there's a lot of stuff going on in Polkadot. They're not the most exciting project, but it's one of the bigger L1s to pay attention to. So just want to point that out. And also my partner, ITrustCapital, is doing something very interesting for 401k provider. This is the very first, I believe. They are offering staking of Polkadot within their system. So if you do have Polkadot within ITrustCapital, within your IRA, right, you could actually stake for 9.5 APY, and the terms are for 90 days. Very, very interesting. Now, if you're thinking, well, no, I'm not going to take advantage of this because they're going to lend that out. No. It's basically they're native staking your Polkadot for you, and they're passing on the yield. Because if you actually native stake your own Polkadot, you're getting way more than 9.5. You're getting like 11% or so. So they're simply making it convenient for people, passing on the yield. So not like what happened with Celsius and Voyager and everyone else, right? So just want to throw that out there. All right, what else is there? I didn't mention about this FUD about Tornado Cash, right, with USDC, with the U.S. Justice Department, or U.S. Treasury. So AAVE also is going to have a big community vote because AAVE right now seems to have complied and basically started blocking people off from its DEX, its platform, people that have transacted with Tornado Cash. So that's only the first step. They're voting whether or not to take it further and actually really comply in a bigger way. I don't know what that means exactly, but maybe digging through some of the previous transactions or newcomers in the space or new wallets that's transacting. I don't know what they're going to do, but it seems like they're taking this very seriously. So they're having a community vote whether or not they should expand upon what they have already done, which is to blacklist a lot of wallet addresses, right? So it's a pretty important vote. And if it goes the opposite of what people think, which is, well, they're going to comply, well, then it kind of changes the landscape with DeFi. So is DeFi really DeFi, or is it more like DeFi that's controlled by, a centralized party like the U.S. Treasury, right? So it's an important vote. I think most people will obviously vote this down because I don't think anyone wants to go in that direction, but who knows? It's a big vote. It's a big vote, that's for sure. U.S. Treasury pressures, MakerDAO community, right? Because MakerDAO is also deciding whether or not they should get off of USDC for the same reason, because they want to be decentralized, but they don't want to support a stablecoin that is not decentralized in a way. So they're still talking about what to do. There are some talks about them moving off of USDC, which is what they use to peg their stablecoin DAI. and they want to put in the ETH. But there's so many dangers that come with that decision. So they're actually not sure what to do. And I'm not sure what to go do, right? And they're not going to turn to USDT. That's even a worse decision, right? Maybe they'll back something else. Maybe they'll back Binance USD or BUSD or something like that. But they're stuck between a rock and a hard place right now, too. I'm sure they're going to do some kind of vote after they decide what to do. And then lastly, Binance custody now supports Solana. So I'm actually surprised this wasn't supported already, but Binance also have their custody service for individuals and whales and institutions. Now they support Solana. So good for Solana holders. Let's just put it that way. All right, outside of that, that's pretty much it. Overall today, if you look at CMC, not too much movement, and that's okay. We're down 1% from yesterday, so still 1.15 trillion. Can't be complaining about that. That's actually a fantastic number, considering we were below 1.1 not too long ago, right? So tomorrow's another day, and let's see what happens tomorrow. All right, and then I think that's it. I see a lot of people like my background. I'm glad to hear, because I was getting sick of hearing comments about, oh, are you in the bathroom or in a jail cell? All right, let's do some Q&A. There's more coming, so this is only the first wave of what's going behind me. All right, I did miss a lot of super chats, so let me scroll up here. Robert has a big one. If the U.S. wants to keep BTC low, can't the Fed just short Bitcoin as unlimited funds to do so? But why would they need to? They have you basically nailed it. They have unlimited funds. BTC is not a threat to the Fed. It's nowhere close to being a threat. Maybe one day when it is, but by that time they won't have enough money to be able to do so, even if they print it unlimitedly. But right now, it's not a threat. Right now, what they care about, the U.S. government, is taxes. IRS wants to tax crypto people. They have to figure that out first, but they have unlimited funds. They're not short on money, right? So that's why they're not doing that, in my opinion. Some people are saying, I'm like a little shrimp. It's okay, Zorb. If you don't have 10 Bitcoin, that's okay. That's a lot for most people, right? The goal is to try to get up to 0.1 Bitcoin, which is reasonable, 2,400 at this level, right? And then 1 Bitcoin, which is 24,000. And that is a monumental mark. I know a lot of people kind of just like, it doesn't compute in their head because maybe they've been in it for a while. They have more than 1 Bitcoin. There's a lot of people that has way more than 1 Bitcoin. But you got to think about, if you talk to your family members or friends, people on the street, you're like, hey, you want to go buy 1 Bitcoin, plop down 24,000? 99% of them will say no because they don't have the money to do so, right? So even getting to 1 Bitcoin is really a big achievement. So aim for that first. Then after you get it, get 2, 3, 10, 100, 1,000. Arfan, what's up? Not much. The sea mammal's not the right term. I'm seeing people make fun of sea animal. All right. You used to talk about Cadena a lot more. This is from Joey. At the current rate of dApps growing, the token release schedule, they'll almost be identical to Sol by end of 2023. Do you think it could run like Sol? Yes, it could definitely run like Sol because it did run tremendously in 2021. However, in 2021, first of all, the fundamentals of Cadena, especially with the technology and the team, stuff like that, is still the same, and I do like them. But the rate of dApps, like you were saying, is going to be identical to Sol. I'm not so sure about that. I still love the project, and I really do wish that they come back, but the rate of dApps right now is not the same. Even from a wallet perspective, very limited wallets that supports Cadena. They definitely need to grow beyond. They need to get some major wallet adoption, right? I'm talking about getting MetaMask, Trust Wallet, Ledger, Treasure, and everything else out there in between, right? Get them to support Cadena. Also, you need more exchange adoption. And on top of that, you need a lot more DeFi projects as well. So I don't think they're anywhere close to Solana. But once they get there and they have the ability to, then they could definitely rise up just as fast and just as high. All right. John says, I'm going to go over and buy 1,000 BTC. Well, that's great, John. That's great. Rip Data Dash. What happened with Data Dash? Do you think Proton's decentralized DEX would be a game changer? Coins never leave your private wallet custody. Well, that's interesting. I don't know much about it. I know that's kind of like, well, actually, I take that back. A lot of them never leave your wallet custody. So, I mean, I guess this is a private wallet, so it's a little bit different. But now that I think about it, all DEXs are like that. If you have your coins in MetaMask, for example, or if you pull up Coinbase Wallet or Trust Wallet, and you go to the DEX and you make a trade, it pulls it, through a smart contract, and you have to agree to it. It pulls from your wallet, and it makes that trade, and then deposits it back, right? But it only leaves your wallet when you make that trade. So in this case, it should be the same unless you're talking about, well, maybe it's pulling from your hardware wallet instead. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I don't think they're going to be the first that has that. Like Cardano, for example, you can stake in a pool directly from your hardware wallet, and I know that exists. And by the way, for those of you guys interested, I'm still working on that. That should be done soon. So make sure you have your ADA ready, because I will be releasing my my Cardano pool. So I'm hoping all of you guys come into my Cardano pool. Can Doge hit 70 cents again? That's 10x from here, or 8x. It could happen, Townsley. It could happen. You gotta wait for the market to heat up a lot more. So I would say yes. When you say ETH will flip BTC, is that the price? No, market cap. Mosley. Your thoughts on Gala Games? Nothing has changed. They still have a tremendous amount of games that's coming aboard, right? That's going to be released, and they have a few games already out now. They still have great backers, founded by the co-founder of Zynga. So I think that guy knows what he's doing, right? So I still like them. Nothing has changed. Binance US supports Cadena. That's where I mine. Well, that's good. I know they added them recently, but there needs to be even more exchanges that supports them. But, they're growing. That's definitely for sure. But, you can't expect them to rise up to Solana level without having more growth, right, in the ecosystem. Phantom is not the same without Andre Croy. There was rumors that he was going to come back. He was actually submitting new code for FUSD. So I don't know what happened. I thought he was going to come back, but he's just tired of the community, I guess. So we'll see when, if he ever comes back. But, Phantom is still doing fine without him. I mean, recovering pretty good. Obviously not back to its previous high. Nothing's back to its previous high, right? But it is coming up decently. Morpheus, hey George, so Polkadot got hacked since Akala got exploited? Yeah. What's your point? I talked about that yesterday, today, the day before. Maybe you just missed me saying it, so you're trying to be a troll and thinking that I only bash Solana. Well, maybe you should watch my streams more. Rich, cheers, my friend. How many different coins are in your bag? Right now, I don't know. Probably about 15 or so. I consolidated a lot. I used to, at one point, I had like about 30 something coins. Consolidated to the ones I really believe in, right? And I'll probably expand that when the market goes up again. But, you know, there's really no right or wrong answer. You could just have one, just a Bitcoin, right? And you could go beyond that to Bitcoin and Ethereum. As long as you could keep track of what you hold, that's it. That's it. Richard asks, what does stacking sats mean? It means you're buying Bitcoin. The smallest denomination of Bitcoin is sats. And one sat, it's called Satoshi. Satoshi is basically the person that created Bitcoin. So you could go to like however little decimal points, like 8 decimal points. So that's called stacking sats. How soon do you think Cardano will reach $10? Probably not that soon. Not that soon. I'm embarrassed to say I own Bitcoin because of Michael Saylor's douchebaggery towards the rest of the space. Then, okay, there's nothing wrong with holding on Bitcoin, but I do disagree with Michael Saylor's, I guess, view of the entire space, of everything else besides Bitcoin. But, you know, he's allowed to have his own views, right? But I do think that the space is growing. There's so much that's being developed right now. It's very early. Of course, there are problems also, problems with any kind of new tech that kind of grows, right? So obviously we suffered some hacks, some collapses, some bankruptcies, but overall the space is still not being deterred by any of those things and continuing forward. Rich, you know that I just try to be me, try to stay humble, right? Trying to show you guys the way. Because I've been in it for a little bit longer, so trying to educate everyone that's coming into space to invest the right way, not the wrong way. Tanya says, been with you since 2020, still holding VET and ETH, DCAing. Congratulations. Congratulations. Plex Metaverse, can you please brief Aircoins? What? I don't know what you mean, Plex. Chance that Nexo buys Vault? I don't know. I hope Vault could pull through. Last time I saw, you know, they were deep in the red. They had like, I forgot the number, but they were saying that they were exploring opportunities, trying to get other funding, right? And doing other stuff. But one of the things they said is they're talking to Nexo. So hopefully Nexo is taking it seriously. Nexo has thrown out some wild claims before, right? Like, I don't know if it's just a PR stunt, but when Celsius went under, they're like, yeah, we'll buy Celsius assets within 7 days. You know, so hopefully it's not just a PR stunt that they're just trying to, you know, prove to the industry, oh, look, we're so healthy, right? So we're just going to buy other people out. Hopefully it's not something like that. And they're really legitimately talking about acquisition. So I haven't heard anything else recently about it. Johnny, with the hustle macro environment, I'm just slowly DCAing still. I can't help but wonder when the vehicle and housing space should improve. Every SUV I want is 70K plus. Yeah, I don't know. Housing is improving a little bit. Starting to notice prices come down a little bit, but still, you know, houses went up like double since 2020. So, and it hasn't gone down by 50% by no means. I'm seeing like a few houses drop 10,000, 20,000. The multi-million-dollar houses drop like 50,000, but they're not dropping by half. So housing is still stronger than it was. And as for cars, still, you can't find them on the lot. You can't find any on the lot. All these cars I'm reviewing, they're good cars, but people complain like you can't find them. So it's unfortunate. I just got done reviewing a Genesis GV60, which is a pure EV car from Genesis. And it's a nice car. It's a nice car, but it's coming in right under $70,000, and I don't believe you're going to be able to find one in the lots. So, unfortunate. Am I going to review She-Hulk? Is that out? I mean, the trailers made it look really bad, and I hate to say it. Again, it's making it into kind of like a... It's making, I'm just going to say it, like the Hulk is worthless, and now they're promoting a She-Hulk, right? I mean, the trailer is basically saying the Hulk is going to be outdone by a woman Hulk, right? Hopefully, that's not the whole thing. That's not the whole premise, because a lot of people were already disappointed with Hulk, how they portrayed him in Infinity Wars and everything else. And hopefully, they're not just going to replace it and he's like gone and then he's worthless and now we have a She-Hulk. Hopefully, it's not like that. Hopefully, they're like working together or something. But obviously, it's pretty noticeable that all movies, all series is now leading towards a female hero or a female, main character, the one that saves the day, right? So hopefully it's not going to be like that, but I think I already know. Thoughts on Jeep Wrangler? I tested the 4xe Jeep Wrangler, and I thought that was a pretty good car. But that's expensive, too. That's not cheap. There's no good cars that's cheap. Let's just put it that way. Right? If you're expecting to find a fine car at $20,000 or $25,000, it's very, very, very difficult. Very difficult. When you're talking about like even a fully loaded Camry, or not even fully loaded Camry, a mid-loaded Camry or Honda Accord, they're at 30. They're not even in the 20s. You're going down to like a subcompact car to be at 20 or 25, which basically you're not going to find. Right? So, yeah. What's my favorite sports car? I don't really have a favorite. I mean, there's a lot. I haven't kept up with the high-end exotics. There's too many like crazy super hyper cars that are like 1 million, 2 million, 5 million, whatever, 10 million made for the billionaires. I don't even keep up with those. Honestly, even I had a Ferrari 360 before, and I never drove it when I had it. So it's going to be the same thing. I have a Ferrari on order, but most likely I'm just going to look at it. I'm not going to go drive it. There's no tracks around me. There's nowhere to really drive it. So I like to get one just so I have one. I could stare at it. I could say, well, this is a reward for myself. But other than that, I don't really have any ambitions to buy all these crazy supercars. There are a lot of cars I want to get. I love to get a Bronco Raptor. Love to get a F-150 Raptor R. There's a lot. I love trucks. But you can't find any of these cars. You can't, if you find it, it's $100K marked up. So, sucks. Superman vs. Son Goku. You know what? I finally got my son, one of them, into Dragon Ball. I've been trying to get him into Dragon Ball for a long time. We started watching Dragon Ball Super, and he's finally getting addicted to it. So I'm glad to see that happen. We didn't start at Dragon Ball Z. It just started as Super. But it's a good anime show. I'll say that. What's my daily? I have a Tesla Model X Plaid. I just traded in an S Plaid for an X Plaid, and it's more comfortable. The Falcon doors are so-so at times. But overall, it's a nice, fast SUV, and it's a great tax deduction. All right, I think that's Wonder Man is next. I hope you're kidding. Yeah, Dragon Ball Super is awesome. But unfortunately, it's ended. I think they're going to come out the second series. They have Dragon Ball Heroes, which is a continuation, but I don't think it's canon. So, because it gets real wild in there. So I don't think it's canon. Wonder George. F-150 EV looks kind of cool. The Lightning, yeah, I've seen it before, but haven't driven it. I will get one soon, so we'll see. Miguel says, how's that tax deduction? First of all, you need to have a business. And second of all, you need to have a car that's over 6,000 pounds. So if you have a Model 3 or a Model Y, you can't take advantage of the Section 179 rule, which states that if it's a business use car, you could depreciate it 100% the first year. That is why so many rich people buy very expensive SUVs that are over 6,000 pounds, because you can fully depreciate at 100% the first year. But even if you have a Model Y, let's say that's under 6,000 pounds, if you have a business, you use it for business, you can still deduct your lease payments or finance payments. You just have to, you have to determine like the percentage that you use it for business, or you have to track your miles and so forth. You could do it, but you have to have a business. You can't do it as a individual. Are you jumping on Gala film nodes? No, I'm not. I'm not jumping on any nodes really. How do you think the Russian-Ukraine war will end? I actually have no clue, Jan. You asked some interesting questions, and I don't have the answers to them. I don't know. You like the new Rivian trucks? I have one on order. I don't think I'll see it until way in 2023. They can't make any deliveries right now, so yeah. All right, guys. I'll let you go. Let me change my background here. Overall, kind of boring right now. That's okay. Boring is good. Bitcoin is very healthy, in a very good spot, and I can't wait until it does start moving, which could be around the corner. We do have a couple things to look forward to the rest of this week, but let's take it a day at a time, all right? So smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and tune in tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time, all right? And for those of you guys, I don't plug this a lot, but for those of you guys that want to learn more about exchanges or wallets, head over to CryptosRUs.com. Guides everywhere, right? And if you want to know where to buy Bitcoin and crypto, well, check out the best exchange guides. That's right on top. All right, have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.